Alrighty, everybody. So this morning we do have Hanna that has formed as of 8:30 Eastern Time. Tropical storm Hanna, located in the Gulf of Mexico, winds of 40 miles per hour currently, and we have a lot of talk about with this system because it could very well become our first hurricane of the season if Gonzalo doesn't become one. So let's have a look at what we do have going on. So first of all, it's located right south, pretty much stab south of Louisiana and east of Texas. Here's a little bit of pretty much where it's supposed to go. It's supposed to do something a little bit like this. So a Texas landfall is 100%. It's pretty much 100% likely. Here's the latest satellite imagery. As you can see, it's absolutely blowing up in convection in those latest frame. Rapid intensification could occur. To be honest, it looks better than Gonzalo, which has winds of 60 miles per hour. But you can see that rotation with all those outflow bands. Just a very healthy storm, and that convection right here. So you know that it's looking a lot better than yesterday and the days before. It's really organizing, and we have a very well looking and healthy storm. If we're getting into those minus 90s, those are pretty much the highest you can go in those purple areas. So it is really blowing up in convection at this point. Now we do have recon currently investigating the system, and surprisingly enough, it found the center a little bit to the a little bit on the side of it, because you can see that round of convection that I was showing you guys, and the center isn't actually in the middle; it's like on the side of it. So that's pretty interesting. It does look like the convection might be sheared to the east, but I don't know. Since the beginning, the storm had just had all the convection rains to the east of the system. But they did find some 45 mile per hour in this entire area, so that's definitely strengthening. And now they're finding only 20 miles per hour in this area. But it looks like it might do a second pass here, something like this, maybe pass in the middle again, just to see if it has strengthened. But we now have winds of 1,001 millibars with this system, so it's definitely getting stronger. Just to compare, Gonzalo has 1,000 millibar and it has 60 mile per hour. So Hanna is definitely becoming a lot stronger as we speak. Here's a little bit of the rain total. As you can see, it is going to be a absolutely enormous rainmaker throughout, all the way into Mexico, even Louisiana. Here could be some getting rain bands, but really this entire area is going to be getting enormous amounts of rain, again moving into the northern part of Mexico as the system moves in the next couple of days. So that's definitely going to be a big threat. We do have some flooding, and we have a 20% moderate flash flooding warning, which is definitely anticipated with this kind of system. Now we're about to take a look at the track, because here's the track right here. As you can see, it's still a little bit large because it's still uncertain where exactly it makes landfall in Texas, but it is expected to be a tropical storm landfall, very close to hurricane, a 60 to 65 mile per hour landfall. Um, so if we look here, we do have those tropical storm warnings in this entire area, and tropical storm watches really in that northern part of Texas. Now we're about to have a look at those wind speed potential, what the potential wind speed could be for this system. Now, as you can see, by 1 p.m. Central Daylight Time, it's expected to be at 45 mile per hour, and then by 1 a.m. it's expected to be at 60 mile per hour, and then it's expected to be a 65 mile per hour landfall. That's extremely close to hurricane status, and it could very well do rapid intensification. And on my cone, we do get a Category 1 landfall, so it just depends on how much it is able to strengthen in the one or 2 days. And if it is able to strengthen rapidly, we could be having a hurricane on our hands here, making a landfall in Texas. Now, as you can see, it does stay a tropical storm almost to Mexico here with winds of 40 miles per hour. So if we take the wind field right now, which is probably going to be bigger, we can expect tropical storm force winds in this entire little area here. And to be fair, I do think the wind speed is going to get a lot bigger once it gets to the landfall point, maybe this big. So we can expect, the tropical storm force winds where those warnings have been put really. We can really expect tropical storm force winds, maybe from all the way to here. to here potentially all the way into Mexico, which is going to be affecting a pretty large population. Um, and the rainfall is going to be really one of the biggest threat with this system, even more than the wind speed. But if we do get a Category 1, wind speed could very well also be a little bit of a situation. Here's my current code for that system. I do bring it to a hurricane landfall, 75 mile per hour. National Hurricane Center going with a 65 mile per hour landfall. So I do make it a little bit stronger, but 65, 75, it's not too much of a difference. But we're gonna have to see how that landfall does occur. Now look at it compared to Gonzalo; it is so much bigger as well. So it is really bushing up there. It's really starting to explode, etc. And it has really good, it has really good convection, really good everything right now. But let's have a look at those models' intensity guidance. Now, as you can see, none of the models bring it to hurricane status. The one that brings the highest is around 66, 70 mile per hour, basically. But it looks like the mean average is going to be bringing it around 50 mile per hour and quickly dying off. So if I have to put my cone in this, or this pretty much would be mine. Kinda, it would really be rapid intensification at this point, because in like 36 hours it would have to be a hurricane. So this would kind of be mine, pretty much. Um, so that's my cone right there, my rapid intensification, or my model intensity guidance with this system. Now, if you have a look at the spaghetti models, as you can see, most of them bringing into, pretty much all of them bringing into Texas and then into Mexico, which is also going to be bringing some pretty, some pretty life-threatening conditions to Mexico as well. So we're just gonna have to see how the systems do hold up. It looks like Recon's gonna have a second pass. I'll update if anything major changes, of course. But right now it doesn't look like we have any major changes. Here's a look at the GFS with this system. It does show a landfall right off the coast of Texas here, 998 millibars. So that's that. We're gonna have a look at really quick. The European model, it goes with 995 landfall. So that also could be a close to hurricane. 998 with the CMC, 998 with the NavJam, 997 with the Icon, 995. So it does look like all the models bring it around 995 on average. Icon bringing it around 995 as well. GMA going with, doesn't say, but it looks like pretty much every single model does go at around 995 millibars. So if that's going to be the case, we're going to be getting possibly hurricane winds, but most possibly around 65, 70, maybe 75 mile per hour with this system. Now, really quick, we're going to take a look at the HWRF, because I know sometimes it makes the storms really strong. So we're looking at a 977 landfall from that model, which that's really rapid intensification. Because just to compare, right now, hour 0, 1001 millibar, right? 1002 and 1002 millibars. In 9 hours, still 1000, and then bam, in 12 hours, 993. So max winds of 50 knots, max winds of 54 knots, 51 knots, 54, 55, 70. So we're looking at a 62 knot landfall if this was to happen, apparently, according to this model. So that means we would be looking at a Category 1 landfall. With 978 millibars, though, that's a little bit surprising. What category is 978 millibars? I just want to check it out. Saffir-Simpson scale. So 978 millibars. That could very well be. That would technically be a Category 2. So we could be looking potentially at a Cat 1 to Category 2 landfall. Unlikely, but it does have that potential. But it is still pretty unlikely at this point. But it does definitely have that potential, wrong mod, for that to be a Cat 1 to even Cat 2 landfall. But if that's going to happen, it's really going to have to do rapid intensification if we want to get a Category 2 landfall. That's going to be very unlikely. GFS though is really underestimating the storm, going within 9,000 millibar landfall, which probably won't happen, but you know, 932K. It does bring it a little bit more north with that system. But yeah, now it could very well. It is also expected to slow down significantly right before that landfall point. So when that does happen, we could be looking at also strengthening right before it makes that landfall, which really wouldn't be good because we are looking now. This is the system right here, and it's expected to pretty much move this way, but right right here in this area, it's expected to stall a little bit, and not move as fast. So we have very very warm waters right here. So if it does start stalling here for a little bit, we could have this intensified to a hurricane, which is why I do have this intensifying to a hurricane. But again, that we're just gonna have to see because look, if we do go western, no, not Western Pacific, Western Atlantic, where it could potentially stall, we have 30 degrees water, if not 31s in this area, and it's gonna be staying over 30 and 31s water in the entire Gulf of Mexico has such warm waters, and this entire coast right, this entire area could be getting tropical so force winds, if not higher. So we're really gonna have to pay attention for this in the next couple of days. I'll definitely have more updates, and if you do live in those areas, get your hurricane plan ready because this could be a this won't be too much of a major one, but this could really bring some life threatening